shapeshifter, have no face to show. Please don't take off my mask, my disguise.
Okay. Should have maybe started this. Whoa! How did that happen? Oh, I logged out when I was on a high platform, and I guess that is the result. I didn't know the platform would disappear.
Quit following me.
That will suck a lot out of this. Oh well, time to continue the Archon quest. Which I so rudely just went out and peaced out. Can I really just go in there again now? I mean, it's sad it will basically deteriorate the experience, but I really needed to get out. Oh well, let's just imagine I've never left to begin with. Please tell me I don't need to do everything again and that this is just the trial taking place now.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Face up, I hold up, I seek up to the truth. That was a scoffed song of Persona 4.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands.
Wow, you're such a great help.
Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Farina is a bimbo. She seems like she knows what she's talking about, but she's just acting out a role at this point.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Why are we up here?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
Why did you even accuse them of a formal crime? You got coerced into doing this. By being pressured by this justice guy, which I'm convinced now is one of the Fatui.
That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
You don't even have proof to press no.
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you wait.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Wait, she is the prosecutor?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
Wow. I mean... Oh, this is so adorable in a way.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Yep.
Oh, is that so?
Ah!
And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The split screen of Phoenix Wright. It was brief, but it was there.
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
Wait, so the thud was not from within the tunnel?
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Wait, you didn't wait, how did... Yeah, if he didn't hear the thud, it must have been... It must have not been in the tunnel?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Lene not know about that sound?
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Probably represent the Olatrice's stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
I mean, isn't it weird that he would deny a thud that everyone else heard?
Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
I mean, you didn't smash anything and probably didn't get smashed either yet. And the only thing that is rock solid is your smug attitude.
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Wait, the House of the Hearth is the orphanage where Fatui trained.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I wouldn't have known that if the prompt didn't say, what, the Fatui? I would have not made that connection otherwise, since House of the Hearth? What, huh? I mean, I remember they mentioned it, but I totally forgot what it was until now.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
But I'm convinced now that the dude that represents the Justice is one of the Fatui.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
I mean, the most important thing is, why couldn't he hear the thud?
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
I mean, I'm speechless because I literally can't talk, so what the frick is the deal? I just want to hear the Traveler say objection or stuff like that.
Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about Magician's ability to con others. Given how Linné has concealed his identity, this could all have been a setup beforehand. But our lives are not at stake. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
Wow, you're really quick to jump the gun here, aren't you? I thought you want excitement and entertainment. So he was neither in the box nor in the tunnel to hear the thud. Where was he in that time frame? I mean, where could he possibly be? He must have been somewhere. And what would he have even done in the vent, if that is the other possibility? And could he not have heard it if he was in the vent?
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
A client... My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
I don't like any of you already.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say!
I mean... I never asked what their origin was. And just because they helped something didn't mean they lied.
Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
More than you.
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Alright then. Why Now the code is adjourned. You meet with Lynn and Lynette backstage. Okay, tell me. Where were you?
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
I mean, just because the House of the Hearth is where the Fatui get most of their disciples, doesn't mean that they necessarily are Fatui.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
I mean, we met a lot of Fatui that are just with the Fatui because they believe in something, not because they know that they are bad.
Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Oh, so you are Fatui?
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
And how do you do that?
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
What? I'm confused already. So they are Fatui after all, okay.
I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Wait, so I thought the Fatui is more like the Mafia, I guess? I am not sure anymore what the Fatui are at this point.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask.
Oh, now you do?
We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
See? So he was in the vent. He's so... He is the imposter. God, this joke is so old at this point.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room.
You know what? I think the Fatui already have the core of the machine and operate it manually. That's why it always lines up with the sentence of the judge. Because he seems to have control over it. Since usually these cores are made up of the... how's it called? Of the Gnosis. I mean, the Akasha system worked with the Gnosis. I don't have a good example for Inazuma since the Gnosis was in Yai's hands. But Sumero is the only thing where I can think of the energy and the processing power of the Akasha system was made possible by the Gnosis, and I think this machine works in a similar fashion, just when it comes to giving justice and other stuff. Wait, so they don't know that the judge might be a Fatu too? I mean, that would be true, since if you know who the big bosses of the Fatu are, you would try to hide that. But that's just an assumption at this point.
That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
Huh?
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Wait, what did the voice say?
After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Can I get the script again? I need to see what you said. It was calling out to you, and then you retreated? Is that what he said?
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
I mean, you still didn't specifically say what the voice told you. What did the voice say exactly?
It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Oh wow, we have no agenda in this whatsoever. Why did at least make a joke ending, you know? Just like in the Phoenix Wright games, when you choose the wrong answer or do something wrong, then it goes to the game over screen or something like that. I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these. I believe that judgment will be dispensed as it should. Yeah, I guess that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two.
Yeah, but big reveals will bring it right back.
If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need. Do we?
Huh?
The German... It's almost over. Let's go back. That wasn't an hour.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Claims that he headed to the chamber core upon entering the tunnel and did not witness the crime, and thus did not hear the thud. You forgot to mention the key... Oh. The voice. Oh, Linne claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that houses the Oratrice core within the underground structure. Yeah, he heard a mysterious voice, but what did the voice say to begin with? That is my biggest issue, that he didn't tell me what did it say. How can you be sure it is a voice if it didn't say anything? The nail-biting trial.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linne acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linne's perspective.
Oh my god, really? Of course there's a mini game. Positions account for events you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences. Oh, this is basically the Phoenix Wright system of a cross-examination. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. To display such shifts clearly. You find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud.
Nope.
He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
Why would he need the vase for that?
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
How can you be so confident in this utter bull?
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linny experienced, and what he saw.
Alright, here we go. Outside of Linny and Halsey flight. Identify loopholes. Let's see. Linny claims he headed to the chamber containing core upon entering. There. Can't possibly refute my Danganronpa comic. Oh yeah, that could also be, but...
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
See? Okay. Linny knocked Halsey out using the vase and removed the clothes to prevent. However... Linny claims... Linny must have been very confused when he saw them.
Oh. Seems this won't produce a particularly effective rebuttal.
Okay, yeah, alright. Can we see it? Magic prop? Those are the only evidence things I can use. Wait, do I have... Oh, it says I have to find every loophole. Existing evidence indicates that when Linny returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place. And oh, that is a hint? Ah, okay.
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Alright. Linny returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place, and all Linny saw was... There.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
There we go.
Detective Paimon has something to say.
No! Why Paimon? Not Paimon! Please, let the Traveler talk in Phoenix White Manor! Come the frick on! Why, Paimon? Why? I don't want to hear you, Paimon. I want to hear the Traveler talking.
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
Oh, success. Okay.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Oh, wasn't it awesome?
No! The Traveler should have said it and pointed his little finger onto Furina, doing the whole thing with, you know, speed streams going behind his head and then slamming the desk. And then epic music should have played. God dang it. This whole thing is way too calm at the moment.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The on-state equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Cowell bumped into Linny by chance.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
I mean, you don't have any proof either. Do you happen to remember how you refuted Linny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask?
I mean, I just gave you the reason. He wasn't in the box.
You're saying that he wasn't?
The claim has now become my weapon. Wait, what? What is this? Oh god. Wait, what? Irrelevant, irrelevant. I guess this? No. Wait, irrelevant? Oh, it says irrelevant. How nice of them. Well, I guess this.
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
Which makes him sus, but also he couldn't hear the sound.
The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
I mean, how would we know? The murderer was. Select the gear icons in the interface to check the corresponding case question. What? Answer and fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you have made mistakes, you must make another from the... Okay. If you've answered all the questions, you can complete this logic chain. Huh? That the firework released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tanker. Linné is no longer under suspicion. Only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Linné gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work. To be transported across... Changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interaction. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
I mean, he's dead.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Yeah, but why would he get killed by his own trick?
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
Who was the only person who could possibly have committed the crime?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
I mean, we know that the random number generator would always go up on the same seat. Who says that she wasn't part of it?
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or...
What? Oh, bull.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
How is this right? Why would he have killed himself?
That can't be right. Are you serious?
That can't be right. Well, let's hear the explanation.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
How?
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Oh boy. How can we envisage Linné as having been unable to interfere with the crime?
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances, so where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
Something. Wait, two things are wrong. Oh, okay. Wait, so What?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well.
Oh, okay, so it's this one and...
The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant.
And this one? Huh?
The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant.
What?
No one entered or left the
Oh, they make it easier now since I had it wrong so many times.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so it would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent.
And again it's wrong, great.
The deceased's name is
Okay, now they make it... So...
Halsey's clothing was
Huh?
in the tunnel.
Didn't I had this one before? Wait! Hey, but it just became wet, didn't it? There's something wrong. I already chose that combination once. Right? Leaving aside how he died, Cowell had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. The strange noise could likely have been the sound of Cowell and Halsey struggling. It's not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cole to bring Halsey out of the magic box in the audience's stand. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera, so even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. So she is still here! Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that they would be discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
As are you! Don't be so smug about it. I didn't see you contributing.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Wait, escaping from the water tank? No, I want to just magic. Could it have been the water? What do you mean could it have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
This is not a performance act. This is a freaking trial. Excuse me for weighing the options and thinking about something.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Hold it! Dun, 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 dun.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Wait, what?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Huh? It was used to cover important the water? What do you mean? And why wasn't it an option before?
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
Wait, what? How does this even work? How did the trick with the water tank even work?
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Are you serious? There's a lady called Mona Megistus who can literally become water to dash around in the ground. And you think it's so out there to actually turn into water?
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Requested to examine Cowl's personal effects. We might find something there.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
For being the Hydro Archon, you're really skeptical about turning into water.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
Who says nobody tampered with it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Where is this girl?
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
What does that mean?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Wait, that is from the prophecy. The prophecy said that the people of Fontaine would dissolve into water at the Judgment Day or whatever. And since it only works on people from Fontaine, that is not too far-fetched to artificially actually... I don't know how this would work in this sense. I mean, there are visions, and visions are basically magic, so there is some mystical force at hand here that makes this possible, but still.
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
I mean, the prophecy says so.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl...
To hide water stains on who?
Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Liquid. The guards found in Cowell's luggage seem to have the ability to dissolve Fontainians into water. But where did she go? And what is the hook for?
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
Huh?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Who's the prime suspect currently? I mean, Cowell?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
I mean, another box.
The rope that held the water tank up was... The deceased's name is Cowell. Now it seems like the hook... The water from the primordial...
What? Oh!
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is what I did wrong. I didn't pay attention to the questions. I totally didn't... What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution? Dissolution?
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but the water from the primordial...
What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime?
The rope that held the water tank up was...
What? Oh. Oh, the box
remember
within the
there
box.
was something else. Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was...
Okay, now I finally understand. I should have read better what it means. So I had the right combinations, but I didn't look at the question.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
We are supposed to be attorneys, not detectives.
In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Oh! I didn't even think of that.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Yeah, but who?
Huh, that does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
I mean, you were the one dumb enough to press charges because the judge pressured you a little bit. The Archon, the little god of the nation, was pressured by a mere mortal into committing of pressing charges.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
What?
Great, someone's already tampering.
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Oh god.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Oh, why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick, one that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance?
What?
Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
I don't.
And voila.
What?
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Huh?
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
Wait, but where did your dress go? How did you get a new set of clothing?
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one.
Oh.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before.
Oh, that is the girl we saw at the beginning that we trailed. Or tailed and then lost.
But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lenny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief.
I didn't even realize that it was the same person. I just thought it was the same random NPC. That's why you need to make recognizable characters when you use them as NPCs. Nobody would realize this.
Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
No, I didn't. I am so tuned to, oh, it's an NPC face. NPC, unimportant, can ignore. You know, that's just how it is when you have unrecognizable characters in your game, and a lot of them with copy-pasted faces. So I haven't realized that. I just thought it was another copy of the same person. Since there was nothing remarkable or outstanding about her appearance to me. Those are not pigtails.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me.
Pigtails have to be at least half a meter long to count. I don't know what they are. Maybe they probably are, but whenever I hear the word pigtails, I have to think of Miku or something like that.
He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure.
Well, now I'm confused. I haven't paid attention.
So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they are practiced hand and concealment, professional thief could make it work.
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning. Do we really need to do this silly mini-game?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily Ann's perspective.
She already pretty much gave us the... Why do we have to do this thing? Wait, what is this now? Select evidence reviewed, Halsey dissolved. What? I can't do anything with these evidence things. I don't know, I just try random stuff now.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Okay.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell. Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
Why is it detective? It has to be attorney now.
Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
If only the Traveler would say that, that would make it so much better. That we have to suffer through Paimon's detective charade is the worst.
She would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
Oh, that's the one who stole the two macarons from the table. She somehow stole them while we were all in the room. But how?
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
You look high as a kite.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
No.
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
What would running away save any dignity? Wouldn't it have made it worse?
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
No!
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed.
That doesn't make it. Why do they not show the lower tunnel for this?
However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
But what about this primordial seawater you have in your possession?
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Can someone control if he actually read that right? Wait, what is this? What's happening here? Something's not right here. Oh, that is weird. Just shut the freak up.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly, unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
What is Coupon Town?
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
Oh, he's gonna die now. What? The what? Who's the boss? Team Rocket? He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
I mean, isn't it kind of a very serious weapon? I mean, they could easily weaponize this.
An outrageous act.
And when was he sprinkled with water?
All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Of course, nothing was found.
So, we're just going back now?
The problem seems to have been solved for now. We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Oh, don't be a grumpy cat. You're friends with Childers anyway. So why can they not be friends of you? Childers of Fatui. What makes them different?
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
I mean, he's still on good terms with Child, so it doesn't make any sense.
But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
Just wanted to be sure that we are square. I just didn't wish to see anyone be falsely accused.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
What? The Knave?
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Knave? I don't even know who she is. How do you know who she is? I heard this the first time or second? I don't know.
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better been roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was.
Wait, what? Weren't we talking about her?
After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Wow. Yay for slavery. Oh god, is that dumb. Really? That is how this worked in Fontaine? And I thought Eula's clan of Lawrence was already terrible.
Oh no. So he was gonna...
Well, the hard R word?
But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
Well, you know, the law doesn't apply for the higher ups. Oh, hey, chaotic idiot, you got me at a very bad time.
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Villains. So what happened after that? Oh, it's a little bit of background story about Lene and Lynette. And how apparently Lynette was offered up as a sex slave. Or at least that's how I want to interpret it. Because it's the most horrible thing I can imagine. Kind of. So what happened after that?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
Wait, who did he kill?
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
Huh? Okay.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
Okay.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
Hey, what do you mean, a mod? Wait, a mod? This is Genshin Impact! This is the newest version of the game! That is just the continuation of the story! Or did you think because of the title that said Phoenix Wright... Well, it wasn't Phoenix Wright, but it was Paimon Wright Ace Attorney and stuff like that. That's just poking fun at... what? Okay, yeah, I guess... Yeah, I'm already at the Arkan quest thing. I mean, the knave might have seen something in me. Father, I mean the... Wait, the knave might have seen... Wait. The knave is a... The knave is actually a female, but he's calling her the father? I'm confused now myself.
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
Is that really how it works in the Fatu? I mean, wasn't Scaramouche betrayed? No, not really. I mean, yes, but no.
I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
on the past though. The knave is after the noses, isn't she? See the knave? Okay, wait. So sometimes I'm losing really the connections, but that's probably just because I'm a little bit tired.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Interesting.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So can you undissolve the people who get dissolved into water, or are they just dead? And it's the Peggy version of dying.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I'm sorry, but I still can't completely trust you. I have to meet the knave. I have to meet that lady.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Look, who needs ray tracing if you have this kind of, you know, reflection? I understand. Goodbye, I understand.
Bye, Linny!
Why is she so miffed against the Fatui? That doesn't actually make any sense considering all the other encounters we had with Fatui that were not quite evil anymore. A twist of great magic?
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
I'm sorry, Navia?
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Linnea. I wasn't necessarily looking into serial disappearances case.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all.
Yeah, and you want to already rope me into a big conspiracy.
Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer.
Really? You wanna sweet talk me now?
Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait,
Whoops.
Shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Let's go have that meal then.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if Boss Navi is treating Camp Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful! In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
Alright then, let's have our farewell meal!
Well, that would be way too quick. Oh. Huh? Offer a hydro sickle to obtain from you. What? What did that say? Ugh. Why blacksmiths do not hammer the metals, but rather use them even more? Okay, I guess since that quest is over now. Let me guess, I still can't switch it to Fontaine? No, I can't. Okay. Well, in that case, I think I ended here, since the quest is over for now. But let me at least go outside so I know where this Hotel de Boer is. Uh-huh. That's pretty close by. Fountain of Lucine offering. Oh, that thing. I want to check this out. I mean, I know what it is about, but... Yay, chicken! God, the feet are totally distorted. Outside of the pair, to waste several and obtain valuable rewards. Of course, it's just like this weird tree, I suppose. Yep. Just like the big dream tree. Alright. I guess that's it then for now. I don't know when I want to continue this. I mean, I kind of want to continue this. On the one hand, I want to continue it fast. On the other hand, there's so little content, I should not just rush it. I just wanted to see what the trial is about. So yeah, hopefully, see you around. Bye-bye for now.